You got a road win, and you did it with the backup quarterback. Just talk about just kind of the initial feelings of that.
Yeah, unbelievable locker room atmosphere in there. The guys fought their tails off. We talked about when you have to go on the road in conference, especially in the week game. It was our first kind of, off-schedule game, and sometimes that can be tough for a team. I think we handled it really, really well. We traveled well. We knew we had great practices, and I think that's a big deal that showed up tonight. We pushed them. A lot of people take bye week and they just take the time to just, again, heal up completely and don't really work. If we didn't work, I don't think we win that football game. And that is a gritty win. It was disgusting at some times. Flags all over the place. Special teams were atrocious from time to time, but we came together and we got it done when we needed it most.
Yeah, talk about that last Middle Tennessee drive. I mean, obviously you guys did a great. You stopped them. I mean, you guys were obviously on a mission there. Obviously they go for the field goal.
Yeah.
They miss it. What was kind of going through your head? The whole series actually.
Yeah, the last series, especially when they got the first down, it was blitz city. We knew we had to get them outside of field goal range if possible, make it as hard on the kicker as possible, and our guys executed. And I'm so proud of them. And the thing that I was most proud of is after one of the last timeouts, they came together and they had a great look in their eye and they got it done.
Talk about the offense a little bit. Like you mentioned, it wasn't like an offensive fireworks display by any means, but there were stretches there where Deuce looked like, like a veteran quarterback.
Sure.
I think that you kind of noticed that he was getting better throughout the game. It seemed like he started off pretty shaky there, but there was a stretch there where he looked like he kind of settled in.
Yeah, as expected. I mean, his first time on ESPN, first time starting with our football program. I mean, there was a lot on the young man's plate, and he was a little jittery earlier, but he settled in. Nick did a great job of kind of building the package around him to make sure he had smooth progression reads and could also use his legs when he needed to. Our offensive line was phenomenal for the most part. Did a really good job trying to kind of keep him protected, and that was a different late to move the ball.
And then Middle Tennessee State, they did a pretty decent job kind of creating those pressures.
Yeah.
Was that kind of more on them, or when they were able to kind of give Deuce trouble? Was it maybe kind of freshman, maybe holding the ball a little too long, something with RPO, stuff like that?
I think there's a little bit of a mixture of all of those. Derek Mason is no slouch. Derek Mason's a guy I respect deeply. He's a great defensive mind, and they knew that there were some things that they could do to create Deuce issues. With a young quarterback, when he feels pressure in his face, your eyes tend to go down. Early in the game, you saw that from time to time. Later on, again, you saw the maturity right in front of your eyes. He took a deep breath, came into his own, and made the throws he needed to make.
And obviously the running game, it seemed like when the numbers were called, they were getting some positive yardage there. Can you talk between Shamari and Ramon?
Yeah, we've got some really good backs. They're talented, they're powerful, they can catch the ball to the backfield. I got on the comms with Nick and I said, run the ball a little more. Whether it's Q run, whether it's running back runs, and we got some chunk yardage plays that put us in those advantage third downs that we were able to capitalize on.
Yeah, and then obviously with Jamari out, you're still able to get the ball, 8 different receivers.
Yeah.
And some guys that weren't featured in previous games. So what was kind of the rotation there?
Yeah, it's amazing how sometimes previous conversations come to the light when we talked about the depth in that room and all the playmakers we have. I think they were trying to eliminate Dash from the game, and again, that's a good defensive game plan, and it opens up holes for other people to step up and be successful, and they were.
Only 3 penalties tonight. But 2 were in a pretty crucial stretch there. If I talk about just kind of, if they don't go back and if Houston doesn't go back and score, you're in a very different situation. So talk about those 2 penalties there.
Yeah, those situations were all over the film. Once you go back and watch it, you're going to see the special teams lapses, some penalties in crucial situations. Now, some of them were hustle penalties. When you're trying to go sack the quarterback and he's going down, I hate that it happened, but when you get after him, sometimes those things happen. Now, the dumb ones, like the unsportsmanlike, absolutely cannot happen. It kills you in critical situations, and we'll make sure we get that addressed.
I got to ask, Jacob came out for warm-ups today, and he was slinging the ball a little bit, but by the time you guys were flipping the coin, he was not in pads. Was that having some fun, with the other team, kind of see what they were preparing for, what they'd expect, or was it you guys, taking Jacob down to the wire?
Yeah, it's just interesting how that worked out. I think when you're day-to-day like he is, you never know how you're going to wake up feeling, and we didn't think he would be at optimal speed, so we decided to go with Deuce.
And then, you're halfway through the year. You're able to get a road win with a backup quarterback going into your bye. Just how important is that to get that going into that bye?
Extremely important. We got a chip on our shoulder. Everyone tells us, preseason, you can't do this, you can't do that, you won't win, you're not ready for FBS. Well, I think people are going to take a second look and maybe evaluate their processes of our football team. And we have a chip on our shoulder. Like I said, our guys love to compete, they love to fight for each other, and we're going to continue to do that.